Everybody has a moment in time where they dig deep and sacrifice. Everybody has a moment in time where they really could use good advice. Everybody has a moment in time when things changing overnight. Open up and let me in. Open up and let's begin.
Hey there, friends and family. I'm here. This is Anthony here for your next episode of Every Minute Has a Name. This week's theme, as you can tell, is going to be education. A little bit about my background. I've got my bachelor's in criminal justice from St. Xavier University out of Chicago. I have a master's in criminal justice from Tiffin University. I also have a master's in Homeland Security Studies from the Command and General Staff College out of Fort Leavenworth. And I have a doctorate of education in organizational leadership from Argosy University in Phoenix. So, thoughts on education. That is a big topic of conversation nowadays because of our cultural shift from getting away from big student loan debt to actually looking at more trade type professional development and certifications to fill the gap of our country. So why is education important? No matter what type of education or a route you pursue, you have to learn the trade or learn the curriculum to get the degree. And what does that do for you? I remember struggling through my undergrad, figuring out the purpose. What's the purpose? What I've learned over the years is that the purpose of education is to give you options. Now, following your passion, you're going to work harder to pursue something that you enjoy, that you're passionate about, hands down, any time of day. That's a given. But what's important to understand is that those degrees, the value of those are the options or the doors that are open to you once you achieve that educational milestone. So what I did was I joined the military, and by doing so, I was able to get all of my degrees paid for by the U.S. military, and there were great programs. I did the Army Reserve Officer Training Corps curriculum during my undergraduate and got a commission as an Army officer, and then I used tuition assistance as well as was selected to attend the resident intermediate level education course at Fort Leavenworth, getting me another master's. And then I was able to use the post 9/11 GI Bill for my doctorate degree. And I'm in no way, like there's everyone that knew me when I was younger, and if I was to throw my grades on the table next to anybody else, I'm not competitive. I enjoyed reading this the book Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk recently, because he talked about how he was familiar with receiving D's and F's, and he was just an entrepreneur, and his personality took him on a path towards being a self-starter more than anything. And my learning style is divergent. I'm a divergent learner, so that's why I was able to do was able to be more successful, I think, an online curriculum or non-traditional platforms. And I think that for me, the reason why I was able to achieve those education milestones is because just work ethic, just not quitting, okay? Just showing up to my laptop, or showing up to class, or just saying, hey, this is an opportunity I could have, and I want to take advantage of it. And I have no great aspirations after completing my doctorate degree. Really, I just want to teach, and I would tell everybody when I was working on my doctorate, I'm like, hey, I want to do nothing when I'm done with this. I just want to, knock out education, and that's it. And that's not true, because after I've graduated with my degree, I did feel an itch for more education. So, I started down the path of writing a professional article. So I did that. I wrote a professional journal article for the Military Review, which was published in the April, the March-April edition of Military Review recently about multi-domain battle. And it was a process, and it was a strenuous process trying to navigate how do you create something for this, meeting the submission requirements for the journal and such. And so for anyone thinking about that's on the fence of pursuing anything in education, it's just going to take time, and you're going to have to put in the work. And putting in the work, as Stephen Pressfield, who wrote Hell's Gates, would tell you, it's battling the resistance. And the resistance is basically you talking yourself out of doing the program. All right, the time's going to pass. My dad would tell me a great piece of advice he learned from another adult learner was that the time's going to pass either way. It could pass with you having that degree in the end, or it just pass with you thinking about doing it down the road. But the choice is yours. So this is advice that I'm going to be giving my children along the way. This is advice that hopefully when they're pulling an all-nighter on their third pot of coffee, studying for comps or board exams or whatever they're trying to pursue, they may want to flick through this video right here, this episode, and say, what would Dad tell me right now? And I would tell you, just put in the work. Time's going to pass. You can prepare the best you can. If you don't meet the mark, you do it again. If you really want it, you're going to do it. Okay. There's no easy out. There's no quick way to the path of success. It's just you putting one foot in front of the other and getting after it. What worked for me doing my dissertation was a battle rhythm, 2 hours a day. It would be 2 hours a day, come home, go into the office, churn out 2 hours worth of work, whether it be 1 page or just finding the right resources or 5 pages or whatever. But those 2 hours were sacred. That was sacred time. And the weekends, it would be maybe 2 to 4 hours, each day, trying to get after it. And that's how I was able to knock out my dissertation in less than a year. And it's just putting the pen to paper, or stroking those keys and getting that paper written, and setting that time apart. And yes, you're gonna miss out on certain family obligations. You're gonna miss out on having a social life. You're not gonna be able to do the things that you'd want to do because that's the sacrifice you're making to get to that goal, to open those doors, get those options, being able to compete for things that if you didn't have that degree, you wouldn't be eligible to put an application in for. And I remember the whole mantra in 2008 through 10 or 12. It's like, I have all these college students, and they're working at McDonald's. Well, I'll tell you what, those college students working at McDonald's, they're the ones that are working, okay? And, that's what education gives you. It gives you a step above someone who does not have it. Why? Because it's at face value. It tells that organization that you were able to navigate through a program. You were able to overcome obstacles towards a goal. You were able to problem solve. That at face value, that's what it tells potential employers, okay? And that's why they value education. As to where you get your education from, if you have a corporation that has a lot of alumni from a certain prestigious college, you may want to get that type of degree, that Ivy League education. But overall, it's basically just having that piece of paper. So when you're holding back from putting one foot in front of the other and going after that educational goal, I would tell you, time's going to pass either way. You could have 1 credit done or 1 class done, or you could sit there and you still be thinking about how it's not the right time for yourself. So good luck to all of you out there in your education pursuits. I'm still taking mine. I'm still going to be researching, writing articles. I don't know where it's going to take me. I want to teach in the future. There's some community college out there with my name on it. I'd love getting to be able to influence folks that are just coming into the college scene, and I could tell them how I screwed up so much in my undergrad. I barely made it out by the skin of my teeth, and get folks to raise their game, improve their position. So thanks for tuning in to this episode of Every Minute Has a Name. Next week we'll be doing a book review on Extreme Ownership, which is a book I read recently, which has great tips on leadership and holding yourself accountable, essentially at all times. And Jocko Willink and Leif Babbitt are the authors. It was a great read, and I'll go into some details about that next week. So thanks for tuning in. Any questions, hit me up, anthonymichaelklaas@gmail.com, or respond to these to the videos, and I'll chime in. But best of luck to all of you out there. Peace.
Open up, let me fill the space that you got. I wanna feel